Welcome back to another episode of Key Factors Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Jones, and we are powered by ReviewMyMortgage.com, which is the largest index of mortgage programs in the nation. And first off, I want to start by asking everybody listening, watching, tuning in to, if you're getting anything out of these discussions, please like and subscribe to the channel, because we're not spending any marketing dollars on this. For me, this is like therapy, and it's cheaper than therapy, I might add. But we're back with another pretty solid discussion in regards to some new updates that are going on in the market. And we will also be talking about the changes, the things that are being affected by the decisions that others are making. And I've got some pretty good guests today. So I'm going to introduce my guests and allow them to chat about themselves a little bit, toot their horn. So first off, I have JJ. JJ Gorena, how's it going, brother?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Doing well.
Yeah.
And then I have Shane Tolcom. How are you?
I'm doing really well.
Is that how you say it, Tolcom?
Tokheim.
Tokheim.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you.
So if you guys could just take your turn and tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Sure. You want me to go first?
Sure.
Yeah, I
There
don't want
you
to
go.
steal the
I don't want to upset
Yeah,
you.
you will. Yeah, so I'm the regional manager for Fidelity National Title here
Okay.
locally. I started my career 22 years ago with Fidelity National Title, and that's when I met JC all those
Very
years
cool.
ago. Yeah, and met JJ around that same time. So most of my career was spent in sales, and so that's where my heart really is. And then, of course, when you have success, the uppers, they want you to go into management.
Yeah.
They might be watching, but I love my job, and,
More work, less
yeah,
pay.
Exactly. That's exactly right. But I do love it. It's just different. So I find myself doing a lot of mentoring within my company and outside of my company. And I really thrive in the sales part. So I meet with lots of real estate agents. I hold accountability groups to mentor and coach. Yeah, I absolutely love it. If you want to come ever,
by all means,
I get up and I throw down an actual soapbox and I get up on it and I tell everybody, what they should be doing. And then they leave and, hopefully they're doing it.
And then they ignore you.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love that you do that, because I am very big on education. I mean, I'm somebody that went to college, never graduated, but did pretty damn good for myself. And it was based on the concept that the information is there. Don't be a lazy ass and go and find it. Period.
That's it.
And funny, I don't know what the statistic is, but you guys probably can attest to this. Most people that go to these seminars, these pump you up, these encouraging things, there's like 10% that actually walk away and go and do it. Yeah. Everybody else, it's like that quick endorphin. We got something out of it, and then we went away.
Yeah.
And then another fun stat is, if you charge for that same class, you'll get more butts in the seat.
Yeah, that's right.
Weird.
Yeah. Or commitment, at least more.
Commitment is probably the word. Yeah, for sure.
So JJ, who the hell are you, man?
So less years than him. I'm 19 years in the game. I was with another brokerage for 17 and a half years. I was a part of some franchises. We owned an office in Laredo, Del Rio, Eagle Pass. Used to be a coach with them. Now I'm with EXP the last year and change. And do commercial real estate primarily. My business partner does residential. He's like ranked 25th in the state, 3rd in the city. Bobby, he's never around. That's why he's working. And I've taken more of a role of just, mentoring, coaching our organization. I was picked up by Success Magazine, and I'm a business coach with them as well. We're opening a Success Space right around here off 1604 and Bitters. And so I'll be the in-house coach there come February. He hasn't even said it, but he's a Maxwell guy. He's, a coach with Maxwell. Yeah. I'm a coach with
Make the day count.
Yeah,
that's mine
for sure.
right there.
So me and him, we have like our yearly coffee that ends up being like 3 hours.
I was thinking about that today.
Right. We haven't had one this year. So, but yeah, Shane has been not only a mentor, a really good friend, someone I've looked up to the entire time I've been in the game. But yeah, so I'm a success coach, commercial agent with EXP.
Fantastic. And I know that you both are very successful in what you do, which is why your butts are in these seats today.
For sure.
So let's get into our topic, the big topic, and then we can stem off of that many different directions. Sure. But as we know, the previous discussion that we had on here had to do with the NAR ruling, the verdict that came back, almost $1.8 billion. Obviously, that's going to be, they're going to take it up again and appeal it and all that jazz. But all the while, what has transpired is buyers are now turning the script to try and go after money that they believe is theirs.
Right.
And the concept is, and mind you, this one is way bigger.
Right.
And to me, based on what I've researched thus far,
Sure.
the first one didn't have very much grounds, but they won. Okay. The second one has even more grounds. So who knows what's going to happen, but they're basically saying that in turn, they were the ones that paid for the commission when they were told by their agents, and we're all culprits of this. You don't pay for the agent. Your side is free. The seller's going to pay for it, right?
Right.
That, in addition to the fact that they feel like they are overpaying for properties because of that. Correct. So just opening it up.
Sure.
Bust it wide open.
So first of all, I thought I was going to just like watch my boy Jeff Garza. Shout out to him and Chris. Jay, those are my two favorite people in the two of my favorite people in the game. So just I was going to watch a little bit of the show. Dude, I ended up watching the whole hour or whatever it was. And I agree with 90% of everything they said. I think they have really good points. My stepdad is a retired judge. So I've been following all this stuff for 3.5 years.
Right.
And anyone that knows me, I'm a very positive person. And I'm always like, I hope for the best, but I always prepare for the worst.
Absolutely.
Right? So, and when we talk, and after that, I said, dude, I loved your podcast. You said, bring it. And you said, bring facts, not fluff, because that's what the show's about. So I was, taking notes, and I'm going to, that's why I have a little note here.
Yeah.
So before this thing that happened in October, there was Justice versus NAR, which was a smaller case that no one knows about. And that's when me and my stepdad were like, oh, okay, there's something here. Because the closing statement from the judge said, this is a good thing, and I'm glad this is changing. So what that really was saying before the October settlements that were being paid out or settled, that was saying that not only the judge and the district court in that area, but the general public thinks that there's change. That means there's something's broken, right?
Yeah.
At that time, in October 6th, I think Remax paid $55 million, Anywhere brand paid $83.5 million, and then at that point, we, as real estate professionals, like, we know this is not going away.
Right.
Right. And we can,
some weren't even paying attention, to be honest. But
most agents are reactive.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if you ask an agent, like, hey, how did you go from 100 to or 0 to 100 deals? They go, I don't know. I just got there. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most agents are reactive. Yeah. And it's the entrepreneurial spirit. My business partner is one of them. Like, he's always like, I've been talking to him about this. He's like, wait, what? Yeah. It's just who they are. It's good salespeople. They focus on what's important.
Correct.
And this is more of a macro thing. And the only reason that was so intrigued by it, because again, my stepdad's a retired judge, and he geeked out on it. So he was the one kind of updating me. So,
right.
But yeah.
But he was also able to give you kind of no fluff. This is big picture what's happening.
And like buckle up type stuff. So here's so what they're trying to say is that us as an industry, meaning real estate agents, not you, brother, you're good, conspire to force and unfairly allow sellers to pay buyers commissions, right?
So let's stop right there.
Sure.
That being the case, conspire and force, what layman concept, what does that mean? So for those of us that are listening, that are not in our industry, because we do have folks that stumble upon this and they go, well, there's some good looking dudes. We're going to tune in.
That's kind of where I, feel like what JJ said, 98% of the real estate agents, they're not conspiring.
Right.
They don't even know to conspire.
Right.
And,
they're not smart enough to conspire.
You kind of opened up with it, but, I hope, and the ones that I know, the professionals, there you go. The professionals, they're representing their client to the best of their ability. I firmly believe that. Sure. And I don't think most of them are saying like, hey, let's raise the price so I can make a little bit more money. I don't think that's the case. And I'm pretty sure. Sure. But so to me, I don't think there's conspiring at all. At the level of the people that I'm talking about.
Right.
Now, I don't know what state this is in. What state is it?
Well, this one was in Chicago.
Right. Chicago.
The previous was in Missouri.
Obviously, I don't know any agents there, but the ones I know, they're not doing that.
Sure.
Intentionally.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't have bad intentions, but I believe, and I like to play devil's advocate.
I'm going to be on your side of things.
Is there two sides now?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, from the lender's perspective, I'm that guy that likes to tell the truth no matter what. And whether you want to use me as your lender or not, you know you're going to get good service. You know you're going to get the right options, et cetera, because I'm going to run you through the whole gamut of what you should have in front of you. Now, based on what you're saying, whether they did it intentionally or not,
Right.
I think that there is some bit of a team up concept when you're behind the scenes with
Sure.
a buyer's agent and a seller's agent.
Right.
And I think that that's just natural, innate. We both want to make money.
Sure.
We both want to get this house sold
Right.
and purchased. How do we do that? How do we come to terms?
Right.
Is it considered negotiation or is it considered conspiring?
So the reason that I think it's unintentional conspiring, or it could be viewed in that way, is because if you interviewed, I don't know, 13,000 agents in San Antonio alone, and if you said, "Have you ever told a buyer, don't worry about my commission, it's paid by the seller," right? Don't give me a polygraph on that. And then also,
Right.
if you've ever asked a listing agent in the residential, say, "Hey, it's whatever percent, and I don't have to give." Well, they kind of end it there. But if they even go further and say like, well, what's the other thing? And why does the other paragraph say like 3 and 3 or 2 and 3 or 1 and 3 or whatever? Because again, there's no set cost. They go, well, you know, like D.R. Horton's giving 5 and, you know, Remax is giving 3. And if I don't give 3, then I mean, you know, so again, unintentionally, that's what the public's viewing it at. But here's where I am probably on your side on this. So, because I'm in commercial.
Sure.
It's not like that in commercial.
Just
It's not
so
like
you
that
guys
in
know,
commercial.
I don't have a side.
Yeah, me
I
either.
want us
No, the
all
devil's
to
advocate
win.
side.
Now, I believe
The
that
devil's
there
advocate
is,
side.
Sure.
in the end, there's
Right.
going to need to
I'm
be
also-
a
change.
There's
There's going to be
there
a
you
change.
go. Yeah,
There's going to be a change, and we can talk about the changes and what can happen
later. Yep.
But why I will play on your devil's advocate side is because I have a unique perspective that, again, my dad's a retired judge. I'm also in commercial. We don't we don't play like that.
No.
We don't even put the price of the properties because it's a non-disclosure state. So
Right.
we're not forced to on CoStar and LuminNet like they are on MLS. We don't have commissions on there.
That's right.
So I've been playing this game for a long time,
Sure,
right?
sure.
So, but this is where I want you guys to think about this. What other industry are you charging for your services not based on your experience? Think about that.
So that's a good question, and whatever comes to mind
And I
quickly
think-
would be car sales.
Sure. Okay.
Car sales,
Okay.
and that in a certain instance,
But not really, because they have a tiered system. The car salesman, they say if you sell up to this, then you make that. You sell up to
Sure.
that. So not really. Actually,
Yeah.
it's based on the experience of the month. Even it's about performance. based.
Correct. Yeah.
No, think about this. So like, you know, my dad's a retired judge. So when I lawyer up, and I have many times, right? So I literally, the last company I was with, they came after me, and so I went to literally to go find a lawyer, and I asked the lawyer, like, are you very versed in non-competes? And how many have you done? How many cases have you won? And what of them were like this? And he said, here's my resume. And it was something like, I've done 22, I've settled on my side, 22 non-competes. Oh, and by the way, 4 of them were with that company. I'm like, sold.
Wow.
So I'm like, take my money,
That's right.
right? Take it.
Yep.
Whereas a buyer's agent may not even know how to but to barely log into the MLS, right?
Sure.
And then he or she is paid blank.
Correct.
And not because they've been in the game.
Not
Here's
because
another
they know a bunch,
Right.
not because they've got proven results.
No.
It is
And-
you got the buyer
Hey,
first.
I was here, I unlocked the door, boom. Here's another thing too. Another time that I've lawyered up, right? You know, for custody stuff, right? You know, me and Max are cool. But even then, right? Like my dad said, hey, when you interview these
Shout out
lawyers,
to the baby mamas
yeah,
out
no,
there.
she's good. Lawyer's cool. I like her. So when she said, hey, make sure that the lawyer knows the judge.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of important, right? So think about Helen Guajardo, his partner or life partner. They're not married, but life partner. Like, you know, because she is,
Yeah,
right?
sure, of
Yeah.
course, yeah.
He's like, it's out there. It's out there now.
We don't have any filters
Yeah.
here on this
No,
show.
I
It's out
guess
there.
not.
But like Helen is such an amazing realtor, and Helen's created a just an amazing career, just being cool with everyone. And so like I would hire Helen if I was buying in the San Antonio metro area, or Bobby Cortez, because they can call Helen, and you know, who do they not know?
Right.
So when it comes to like lawyers, if you knew the judge, then I'm going to pay you more.
That's right.
So, but not in our industry. It's just not flat, but it's just a bank. Boom, boom, boom. And so in that case, I feel like the plaintiffs were like, really called us out on how we are.
That's true.
So, and if I can go a little bit further, so what?
No, please,
So
please.
these are the alleged goals of the plaintiffs. They wanted to create competition against real estate agents. There's already a lot.
It's it. Yeah.
Bro, it's not even whatever. They want to dramatically That's the word. Lower commissions. Okay.
Now, pause there if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's do it.
So let's have the lowering commissions conversation. And I've had it a couple of times, and I've had folks on one side. Matter of fact, they're all on that side. Don't touch my commissions. This is what I make, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, great. But when was the last time that you had to go to a buyer or a seller to get the contract signed? When was the last time you had to meet with a realtor in person to negotiate? When was the last time you faxed a contract over to get it faxed back? And the reason why I
used
say
to
that
wait for faxes.
is when those commissions were structured, that's how it was. It was not a DocuSign, dot loop, sign here, press hard, click hard, etc.
For sure. We're doing less and our pay is the same. I totally get that.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you just said. I feel though there's other things, that realtors hopefully, and we're going to get into this later, about the market. Hopefully the ones that have really worked on their craft that we're getting better at. Because also back then when my dad, my biological father was a broker, so he had all the control. So he had a lawn sign. He'd be like, I'm going to show you Shane's property. I'm going to show you, Mark's property. I'm going to show you JC's property. And then I'm going to show you my property. And it was like ugly, a little bit cooler than mine. And they had all the control. There was no Zillow or IDX or anything like that. So that was also when those commissions were based, right? And so they had complete control. And now we have inundated buyers that have a plethora of the grass is always greener. And so the really good, talented agents that, I help and he helps train and coach, yes, we have different problems. We have to hone them in and narrow their focus and hopefully learn on our craft of language and closing, where when not talking crap about my biological father in the game, but that was a pretty easy game.
Sure. You
show them 4 houses, they have to pick one, boom. I remember them signing on his hood.
Yeah.
So, there's the give and take, right?
Absolutely.
So, yes, we probably can get more done because of the digital age. And now with AI, it's probably going to explode even more. But I feel you have to be more talented than you did in the 80s. So there's that, right? So dramatically lower commissions, save consumer money. I don't think that'll happen in the long run, but maybe in the short run.
I'm with you on that.
Increase transparency. I feel what Jeff said on the last show, Texas, we disclose a hell of a lot, bro.
How do you get more
Holy
transparent
smokes,
than
bro.
It being flat face on the contract?
Yeah.
Now, it more so is one of those things where you've got to have proof that you went over it with them.
For sure.
I thought that was a signature, but now you got to maybe put it on
it's
TikTok
on the
or something.
too,
Who knows?
And they see it in our office.
Sure.
And,
Sure. He gives them a stack of papers that'll choke a horse. So if we actually, no offense,
but the buyer, but the seller, no. They see it.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah, they've seen it multiple times.
Yeah.
Net sheets, CDs, everything, right? So and then you're like, wait, what? I mean, it's okay, whatever. And then the last thing is the incentivized additional negotiation. Now, I do feel like that is where we being the residential hat are not like how we are in the commercial hat. The commercial, we negotiate all the time. We negotiate, I'm dealing with brokers that I've never met in other states that representing buyers. And I'm like, bro, who are you? What do you have to do with this?
Right.
And then I have to, so it's constant negotiation. I'll give you an example. There's nothing on CoStar LoopNet. So there's not even a price, right?
Okay.
So let's say interest rates would drop to 6%. What would happen to price? It would skyrocket.
Absolutely.
So what sucks with us in residential, we've already posted a price.
Right.
So we can't adjust it.
Right.
Commercial, it's a non-disclosure state. So I don't want to buy his retail spot and let Barrett County know what I pay for it. It's a non-disclosure state. So why would I don't want that. Because the price is out there and then now you're going to screw me on taxes. Thank you, BCAT. So we don't have to disclose the price nor commission. So before I show Shane's property, I go, hey, dude, what's the price? And by the way, that's going to adjust from day to day and almost from client to client. Like, well, who do you got?
Right.
Are you a developer? Are you a brewery? Are you, right? So are you an investor? How weird that changes, right? See how it's so
absolutely
fluid.
Do you have money? How much money do you have?
Yeah. See how fluid it is,
Sizing you up. Absolutely.
Yeah. No lock boxes, no short in time. We're in the 1880s. We might as well fax offers over there. So then I have to ask him, then he's going to disclose to me, and he might make me sign an NDA. Think about that.
Yeah.
So then I can disclose to my client what the price is. And in that, I say, hey, and then I send him a thing, say, I would love to show your property, but I intend on getting 3%, 2%. Right. And sometimes it's lower, right? Sure. Because commercial is higher price.
Sure.
So 2%. And then he goes, man, I would love to show it to you, man, but we're only giving 2.5. And then I go, you know what? I'm good with it. So maybe I feel like residential is going to look way like more like my game, and I don't think that's a bad thing. But we can get into that later.
Sure.
So what the sequence is, they want to decouple, debundle, and delink commissions.
And I guess my question to that, even though I play the devil's advocate all the time, is how do you do that? How do you go about
The rules have to be completely unwritten, because if I'm representing, or my business partner is representing to both sides of the transaction in the residential contract, he is so exposed to liability.
Sure.
So if you're going to decouple, then you have to change the rules where my business partner, because he, like you're walking on eggshells on top of landmines when it comes to, and by the way, there's non-states in the United States that you cannot represent both sides. We're and then if I ever tell agents that, they go, wait, what?
Dual representation?
It's not allowed. So it's going to have to be allowed and probably be a standard. And so if that's the case, then you
like
can't
going backwards.
Yeah, then you can't penalize my business partner because what he's doing is double the work, and now he has to like treat the other side fairly. And
how do you do that?
How? Mm-hmm. So what I think, so this is what the fears are. So I'm a commercial agent, so vaya con Dios residential. I'm just kidding. So I'm a little insulated from the situation. But what are our fears? The fears that I hear from real estate agents, like you said, don't touch my commission. What our fears should be is this: there's going to be a wider gap of wealth, because wealth, as you know, has to have real estate in it.
Sure.
There's no wealthy person that doesn't have a strong amount of.
I tell people all the time, I make great money and have made great money.
Sure.
But if I didn't put that in real estate,
then
I wouldn't have shit.
Yeah, you would have nice clothes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the disparity of wealth is already getting much, much higher. If what the plaintiffs want happen, the disparity will increase. And let me tell you why. Like, here's some stats: 26% of all home buyers are first-time home buyers. Think about San Antonio even more. Mm-hmm. We have low-income buyers that can't pay for representation. We have veterans that literally are not able to pay for representation, and retirees like my mom that has maybe one more transaction in her that can't afford a buyer's agent. So what ends up happening? I feel like no matter what, if I'm going to go into a real estate transaction and I need to be represented, I'm going to pay for representation. So then who gets represented? The people that have money. Who has money? The people that already have real estate. So what we should be worried about, besides my commission, my 3%, don't take away my 3%.
Right.
We should be worried about the general public and the disparity of wealth, because that's going to be a bigger fallout from all this stuff.
Well, that raises a great point that I had not really thought deeply about.
Sure.
And that is the concept of the haves and the haves not
it's going to be bigger
to afford it.
It's going to be bigger.
And then coming back to, do you believe enough consumers out there see the value in the realtor in representing them?
Well, obviously they do not, right?
The educated absolutely do. And the educated, more times than not, you're going to have 50% that can afford it, 50% that can't.
Yeah.
So that puts the market into a 25% bucket that will be able to pay for it.
Right. We're going to look more like legal, and we're going to look more like law transactions and commercial transactions. Transactions in commercial with the less transparency and more fluid and more negotiation, and the legal people go all the time to represent themselves, or they get the attorney. What's the dude
who think that they know real estate?
Or no, like, let's say like you get in trouble, you're like, you get, God forbid, a DWI.
You're
court-appointed.
Court-appointed.
There you go.
And that, so I think we're gonna have court-appointed realtors, right? Right. I think that's what's gonna happen. And you know what happens then? That's when you like.
Oh yeah. I mean,
they literally created the word settle.
Yes.
You settle for these things, right? Because of what's gonna happen. I feel like. So I think it's gonna be like.
Let me ask you this: do you think that, and this is just it's not a great solution, but it is a solution.
Sure. If
brokers converted agents to salaried position.
Okay.
I don't think that would work at all.
I think it could. Again, it happens in commercials. So So this is why I have a unique perspective.
Okay.
So this is what I think is going to happen. It's going to be a firewall. IDX is gone. MLS is in trouble. It has been for a while.
Sure.
Right? So there's going to be a firewall like there is in commercial, where like I'll be talking to someone in like CBRE, one of the big boys, and I'll be like, hey man, I got a client interested in this property, and they've told me, hey, bud, we're doing this one in-house. And I'm like, what?
Oh, okay.
Pretty much saying like, nah, we got enough troops. We don't need you, right? Think about that.
That's scary.
Is it?
I mean, to a certain extent, because there's supposed to be transparency that we're giving.
That was
yet
transparent.
You guys are colluding behind the
You
scenes
don't like
because
it,
you're
but
on the
it's
same
transparent.
team.
I may not like it because I'm not part of that big boy firm.
Right.
So now the big boy firms, just like in commercial, dude, you can name them, right? There's 5 firms that right? You can name them, right? You just see them all, or JLL, CBRE, Realty, you can name them. It's going to be that. So, and I'm not trying to toot my company's horn, but we're way ahead of it. So we have Zenlist where we already have off-market properties with all 90,000 of us, and we're already doing in-house. We're preparing, we're insulating ourselves for what's coming. And so then it's going to be like, okay, do I work for brand A, brand B, brand C, brand D? And brand D might be this awesome brand like Jeff Garza. That's like, because dude, broker of the
He's
year.
on point.
Well,
On point. Absolutely.
Dude, he should get broker of the year, dude. I have so many stories about Jeff about calling me and hey, I'm showing my agents your development at 9 p.m. at night. I'm like, Jeff, you're awesome. So, or I'm gonna go with who has the inventory.
Yeah.
Because now we're like car lots.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I my son he's totally fine, but he wrecked a car. So we've been doing the car shopping for a week. Holy smokes, that's a dirty game.
Oh yeah.
But it's,
I was in it. I totally get you. Yes.
But
and it will be a luxury.
Yeah.
You'll
A
have
luxury
your
brand.
Pre-owned.
There you
Absolutely.
go.
That
There
makes
you go.
sense.
There you go.
Your builder division.
There
over
you
here.
go.
I totally
That's
get
where it's
that.
going to go. We're going to go into the commercial. You guys are going to look more like us and like my dad's game and like the car game. And it's going to be who has the inventory. Well, then it's going to be a weird recruiting appointment because it's going to be for an agent that's like, hey, you want to go with this really strong broker like Jeff Garza that's going to like be there for you because he's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But we got blank amount of listings.
Right.
And they're going to be like, ugh.
Which one? I got more to sell here versus the value that I get to try and gain because I technically can't gain anymore if they're all hoarded within these brokers.
Like I went to Cavernous Toyota off of 410 and Bandera. They have 7 acres of inventory. Like I'm like, we're here now.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Like why am I going around the freaking...
It's all here.
Plus so do they have the best salesman? Josh is awesome, by the way. But do they have the best salesman? Probably not. I mean, maybe they do, but what if the best salesman?
Need to?
They don't.
Do they need to?
Exactly.
So this is what's going to happen. So again, I have a unique perspective because
That's a different.
I'm in commercial.
Look,
yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to be the big firm. Like you think it's going to just absorb the small guys, which sucks.
It does
because I love competition.
But change is inevitable.
It's
in
coming.
any industry.
It's coming,
in my opinion.
The next question's for you, brother. You ready?
Bring it.
Will the mortgage industry get disrupted? In this way, can buyers finance commissions? Are commissions part? This is going to be all you.
Great questions.
Can buyers finance commissions? Are commissions part of closing costs, or can they be? Will mortgage industry be able to react fast enough? These are the notes that I wanted to ask you because I had to read those.
I love it. I love it.
And is it all in the buyer's best interest?
Okay, so let's start off with the best interest part.
Sure.
Because I think that's where it all kind of, if it's not in their best interest, what the hell are we talking any further,
I think the plaintiffs don't get the big picture, but whatever.
Correct. I do think it is in the best interest for a buyer to have representation, number one.
Sure.
I believe that representation should be sophisticated enough, educated enough, qualified enough that I don't have to do your job for
Sure.
you.
Right.
And I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I've said it before on previous discussions that the lack of experience on a buyer side ends up falling on the lender.
Right.
And simply because we want that buyer to close on the deal.
100%.
So the next piece to that is how is the mortgage industry going to adapt to it?
Mm-hmm. Can they adapt?
I don't know. And the reason why I say that is we are already being faced with margin compression.
Yeah.
That's out of this world.
I bet.
No one has seen it like this even back 2018 and prior to that.
Never.
So the brick and mortar that you see, the operations like crazy, all my operations work from home.
Yeah.
My loan officers, they come in, they come out, no big deal as long as you're doing what you're doing. We hold meetings. We've got plenty of resources for them. But I do believe that, and lenders out there are going to hate me for this, but I believe that it may end up coming down to here's your rate, and here's the fee. Or you can have this lower rate and this gets rolled in.
Right.
There's your options. There is no ops. There is no, technically, maybe not even a loan officer. Why? Because I already built something that is going nuts.
I know you have.
That consumers can put their information in, and as long as the programs that we've uploaded, and we're constantly uploading programs from different companies, match with what they have entered in, that's their program. Technically, now you just need to upload your documents, make sure it's verified, and run it through. So you're being
proactive.
Very.
Got it.
Very. I mean, I thought that this was something that was going to come regardless of this lawsuit or case, just simply because what happened with the pandemic, in my opinion, was going to happen, but it was going to take another 10, 15 years to happen. This just went, okay, now we've got to deploy the things that we've been working on to see if they work so that we can just continue moving forward with what we do, business as usual. But it wasn't business as usual. There was more business. I mean,
Shane's seen some crazy stuff happen since you started in title 22 years ago. I mean, it's changed completely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, everything you guys have touched on, it like we were told this morning, or obviously it's in the news.
It's out there.
Well, I wasn't talking about.
Oh, my bad.
The 13-year. Right now we're slower than we've ever been. For 13 years.
Yeah.
And I always say to that, like, well, probably you too. I never had that. Even 13 years ago, I had my best year. In 2008, I had my best year. I've had my best year every single year. So to me, I always think that, the people like us we don't even see that because we're doing the things proactively that we're supposed to be doing.
We're
who's suffering from that? Yeah, the 80% that are, or the 90% or whatever.
90% for sure.
Yeah. So
I mean that's a good point. And the last thing that you mentioned, which was technically the second thing that you mentioned, was, is there going to be a way to finance it? That was a suggestion that I had in the first discussion about this when it first came out. I had Tori Summers on, Nicole Ricks, and John Groff. And I said, how about we find a way to have lenders finance that piece of the commission, because we're already, and this is coming from the government, FHA loans, VA loans, USDA loans, where they finance their upfront mortgage insurance or guarantee fee. Why is it okay that they do that, but not the other? I mean, is both not
a service fee,
Is both not to protect that buyer? I mean, in the grand scheme of things.
So Dodd-Frank will have to be rewritten, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a part of it. And so the proaction that I think should happen to everyone is...
Now, do I think that mortgage lenders will go away completely? I don't.
No,
it's simply because there's just too much.
It's too much of a commitment.
B, C, and D paper that deserve to have a home.
It's more than that. It's just like, I think, everyone's like, oh, what about Blockbuster? I was like, dude, that's a movie. This is a 30-year mortgage. People are going to freak out. They need to be talked off the ledge. They need consulting. Right?
Well, the deal needs to be put together.
For sure.
There are many cases where they don't know what the hell they're doing, and they've been turned down by 3 people, but the last person that's experienced gets it and goes, oh, they were missing this, and they need to fill this gap in, and then it makes sense. Boom, now they got a loan.
It's where problems are solved, money is made, right?
Absolutely.
So I think what agents should be, to be proactive on all of this, if they're listening, I think is to change what you're worth. Why is my business partner, Bobby Cortez, a listing agent? Why is it his responsibility to negotiate a buyer's agent's commission? Why is it on the listing agent? Like think about that. Like imagine like a lawyer's like, hey dude, I got you and I got their side too. I mean, it happens in a civil action lawsuit, by the way, because whoever loses pays both.
Correct.
But then it's a competition of who wins, right?
Right.
So it creates competition where we're like, no, I got you, homie. I got you, girl. Like, why is it my business partner's, as a listing agent, why is it his responsibility to negotiate a buyer's agent commission?
That being the case, let me ask this. And it can be for both.
Like, imagine you had to negotiate his fee, or he has to negotiate your fee.
Well, am I truly negotiating that fee, or am I trying to convince the sellers who pays for it at the time? This is the way that we market your listing. And that kind of leads into something else that we don't have to go down the rabbit hole all the way, but the steering concept. You've got properties all over San Antonio that are 2%, 1%.
Why is it negotiable at all? Why are we negotiating? Why can't we just set it? Why can't we?
I mean, again, you're right.
And or, like JJ's point was earlier, the more experience you have, the more you get paid, or the better you are, the more you get paid. Okay, so that's not negotiating. That's earned.
That's earned.
And
I
so
agree.
Set it, and then as you earn, it goes up.
maybe
why are
it's
we
a time
negotiating?
thing. Maybe it's once you get to X
Time,
amount of
experience,
transactions, that could be
Yeah.
something.
Whatever.
But from what
that
I've
would
been
create
told,
the mentorship, apprenticeship that Jeff and you guys are talking about.
absolutely, I
Because
agree
then
with
they'd be
that.
like, hey man, like, you know, I'm Jeff Adler, you know, whatever, you know,
I'm appointed by.
I'm the
Correct.
4444444 guy. Like, let me get you through this. Like, because dude, in law, again, I think we're gonna look more like law and commercial. It's gonna be fine. In law, you when you're new, you have this like it's the same game. You have to go find clients, service them, great enough to get referrals, and the saga continues.
Right.
And then there's a tipping point where you can only grow with a legal assistant. Same thing. The difference is that people tend to like want to get into a group like Jeff Garza's group or whatever to like earn their badge of part. You ever heard like, one day I'll be partner?
So let me ask you
That
this.
kind of thing.
Talking about that whole marketing concept of this is how much we are paying to the buyer's agent.
Builders do it all the time.
Absolutely. Is that something that has to be disclosed up front? And when I say up front, I'm talking about on the face of the listing.
Well, I
'Cause if that could go
hated
behind the scenes,
Sure.
then steering goes away.
that happens with us in commercial, dude. I hated it because coming from residential, I did 9 years of residential and I was pretty good. Shane, remember that? I'm just kidding. No, I didn't. And then the last 10 I did commercial. I hated that because I was like, bro, why isn't it 3?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean 2? They're like, dude. And this guy told me straight out, like, you know, he worked for a big boy firm. He's like, look, man, we got this much to cut up.
That's it.
You're not in this group.
Right.
Thank you for bringing your client. We got this for you.
Right.
But you know what they say though? But we take it from here, homie. Do you see
Same
that?
thing that they're trying to do on the residential side, I would imagine.
Maybe. So like, I'm not going to say, let's just say 6%, the firm has negotiated for the transaction 6%.
Right.
But they're trying to hold it in their firm because they have enough people and marketing and whatever.
Keep it all in the family.
Because that's what remember, they're using one broker, right?
Right.
And then I come with a buyer or even a tenant.
Outside of that.
Yeah. And they go, hey man, we weren't expecting you. So thank you it's almost a referral piece. Thank you for your prospect. We'll take it from here and just get you paid.
Bye-bye.
I don't have to deal with see, unlike the buyers, they didn't have to get them through inspections. Do you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's almost like a referral fee. And I'm like, all right, I
It's
can
like dropping them off at
I
a
can
builder.
I can take that. Exactly.
At a manufactured home builder.
Exactly.
To be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So I just think you guys are going to look, you guys meaning residential is going to look more like us.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
I don't think anything change related is necessarily a bad thing because it happens for a reason. And, and I can't completely agree with that reason, especially in this case scenario, but I do see where they're coming from.
For sure.
What I want to bring it back to for just a moment is the gleaming question of who really pays for commissions in regards to residential side of things. We know where it's at on the contract. We know where it's at on the closing disclosure. We know where it's at.
Well,
but who's really paying for it?
I think equity is theoretical, right?
I agree.
Right. So
and you hear the conversation, well, the seller, because they're the ones getting the money. Okay, and because they became a homeowner and did what was right, now they're going to be penalized?
Yeah, they bought their house for 8 raspberries.
There you go.
whatever the prices were. No, well, I think equity is theoretical, meaning like when someone says, oh, you know, I got $230,000 in your house, I was like, do you? Because what has to happen for you to get that out is you have to call Mark and refinance it. Yep. That's option A.
And you can only pull up to 80%.
Right.
Minus the loan amount.
And there's fees to that.
Absolutely.
Even people say that there are.
There are.
And then, not you, other people. And
I say it straight up. I'm going to charge you, but I'm going to do a damn good job.
But you're going to love it. And then, so that's theoretical, right? There's also fees for Shane's positioning in that, his company. So there's all these fees. So it's theoretical. So is equity real? Well, if you can get it out, how do you get it out? You have to
sell it or refi.
That's it.
It's only two things.
And so what is one, we're being attacked on the side where we're like, well, in order to get it out, there's like a 6% or 5% or whatever percent supply and demand charge for two people in a transaction to, you know, come together with, you know, such a high ticket item price.
Yeah.
It's not like we're slanging Toyotas.
Correct.
It's not Toyota.
I agree 100%
or Honda.
And that's also what and why I'm more inclined to agree with the commissions need to come down a little bit, simply because we are selling something that's pretty large dollar value. Mm-hmm. You make a good commission. I mean, you've got many of teachers that quit teaching to come become a realtor.
Sure.
and surpass their $60,000 a year salary in 3 months.
Sure.
But yeah, that's a good. Go ahead.
But just like lawyers, though, think about like all the cost is up front to us. So if I went to Mr. Seller and I say, all right, homie, you want me to take this theoretical money out of your theoretical property, or the equity out of it? Well, then am I on your salary? Then are you paying me hourly, like you do a lawyer? Like,
right.
So I think it's going to come down to, and we're going to get to this if you want to, like, what are some other things that you can do? I feel you can really, like, well,
like, before we do that,
go ahead.
I want to know from you guys who you think is paying that commission.
That's what I'm saying. I feel that it's a price of the market. I think both sides are.
Okay.
I really do think both sides are. I think that.
So when agents say that you as the buyer, I'm the buyer's agent, you're getting this for free because the seller's paying.
They shouldn't say it that way.
That's incorrect.
And I want to get into that later when we talk about Shane and his accountability with these agents. They're saying that because they're not showing value.
Well, and I think they're coached to say that by the wrong people.
Correct.
But I don't hear people saying that. And of course, I'm not a seller, but nobody's ever said that to me. Nobody says it in front of me. It may be happening, and they may say it, but they've been coached. Yeah. They've been coached by their broker to say exactly that.
I believe the fifth.
And that's almost avoided.
I don't know if they say free. I know they say it's not going to cost you anything, which is free. And the seller's going to pay. So to answer your question for me, it's coming out of the seller's equity. That's who's paying for it.
And that's one side of the coin. The other side would be the only money that comes from someone out of this whole transaction is the buyer. They're the ones that get the loan. They're the ones that either pay cash for the whole thing. They get the loan for it, etc. And then it's all chopped up on the CD.
But let me remind you, before any of that happens, we real estate agents pay for marketing costs, and lawn signs. So we it's only if and when. All these contracts say if and when.
Right.
The if is really big. There's many a time, especially in this market where especially in commercial, like it's such a big risk. It's not like a little lawn sign. We got banners. They're expensive as hell.
Right.
And we have like, and by the way, our MLS, which is CoStar LoopNet, they charge you per month like gangsters. So like, like they're like, hey, you still want that listing on? Watch out there. So there's so much upfront cost that, again, the plaintiffs are not really thinking about. Like, then if that's the case, if I'm going to get paid less for work, well, then pay me hourly like a lawyer.
Right.
I can bill you that way. Retainer.
Retainer.
That would be chopped up. Correct. Yeah.
Retainer, and then pay me hourly as much, just like a lawyer. Then like, we can be gangster like that.
It makes sense.
But they're not going to want that, homie.
I don't think so, and nor do I think that realtors will be able to continue to keep up with the continuing education, the courses that you may have to take in order to get to that level.
Well, then make it the upper echelon of the people that can.
Well, then
make it harder to be a realtor.
Then let's solve it.
That's it.
Let's solve it.
Yes.
Then why is it we are racing to the bottom? NAR and everyone's trying to make it cheap and accessible to become a real estate agent. Why? My dad stopped doing law, not because he wasn't good at it. It's just because he had another career and he didn't keep up with his law degree. Like their CE is more the cost to be a lawyer is unbelievable. And guess what? They're more of a respected industry because of it, right?
That's true.
So besides, like stupid shows like, what is it?
Selling Sunset.
No, I'm talking about the lawyer one.
Which one? Suits,
yeah.
That's a good show.
It's a good show. But like it's so
I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's so BS. So
you heard the soundtrack?
That's dope. No, it's dope. But like, so make it harder. We've been racing to the bottom to see how fast we can get into the industry. And then I see agents that come in, no offense to anyone, I'm not trying to talk mess about anyone. But I see agents come in, they think it's just like, hey, what else can you I see agents leaving brokerages because, oh, dude, they charge me $89, but they only charge me $40. I was like, dude,
if you're worried about that,
if we couldn't open a taqueria if we were worried about $150 of,
that's right.
So why are you in the game then?
Yeah, correct.
Like, and I think that's what everyone, I'm going to say, I don't care if I'm crucified. Why are you in the game yet then?
Shouldn't be.
Because lawyers, the herd thins out quick. You become a public defender with a salary. If you can't originate, you chase
work for a bank
or work for a bank. Exactly. Right. Yeah. You look over leases at the airport for a set salary. Like, if you're going to take the risk and for the reward,
right,
well, then you got to be good at your game, which is where I feel like goes into our new topic, which is this is where we're at in the shift. I think this is where the cream is going to rise and the rest is going to boil.
Now, do you think that with a shift like this,
Sure,
it would absolutely crush the brokerages that popped up in the last, let's call it 5 or so years,
dude, I don't,
like the EXPs, like the Reels, like the multi-level marketing, so to speak, concept of real estate.
Brick and mortar is, dude, don't get me on my soapbox, because I didn't bring mine. So, dude, this is the end of the, like, look, dude, my dad was like C21 back in the day, right? C21 was awesome. It was the only international brokerage ever, right? Then Cole Banker killed them because they had all the reload contracts.
Right.
So they're like, sorry, homie. Like they still have all the reload contracts with USA and Boeing. And then Remax said, nah, homies, we just want rent. We didn't even want splits, right? And then KW came along when I came up, and they're like, you know what? We could just want this much, and then the rest is yours. And then, dude,
but that was only possible because they had so many agents.
That style of the temple, well, the C21 model was like the broker had all the power because you have to have all the listings in the broker's name, and his sign was on the sign, his number was on the sign. That was that model.
Gotcha.
Cole Banker same. Remax said, no, they're the first one to say you can put your number on the sign. We just want rent,
right?
Because they had to like pay for this temple brick and mortar. Then KW said like, yo, you can also leave your number on the signs. And we only want up to this much, and then the rest is yours, which was mind blowing.
Right.
And then there's the new ones, right? Like then we say like, hey, we don't need brick and mortar. 2020, like, dude,
the change.
We all had the best year ever.
Absolutely.
Did we
2020,
have
2021? Absolutely.
We didn't need an office.
Yep. Mid 2022, and then it went
ding, 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 no office.
That's correct.
Ding, 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 no office. We don't need an office. It's archaic.
But at the same
you
time,
need an office, right? You
for the most part, absolutely.
Legally, you have to. Don't
legally, we have to have brick. Well, technically, we do not.
We have an address.
There are some states like Florida
we have to have an
that you have to have brick and mortar there.
Oh, it's not here.
No, not necessarily. You've got to have an address tied to it. So my house could technically be fulfilling that.
No, think about it, because like Rocket Mortgage is killing everyone. Where's their office?
Somewhere.
Pie in the sky.
Exactly.
Who knows?
So no, he doesn't need an office. But
that being the case,
would
we don't need brick and mortar, all that good stuff. So we're going to go to a either transaction, get a piece of ownership, etc.
Yeah, cloud-based.
But where is the leadership? Where is the mentorship? Where are the things that I'll be honest, the KBs have, but in my opinion, they're more so using it as another means of revenue.
The KWs,
they're charging their agents for bold and these other things.
Yeah, no, it's a whole thing. There is that. So now I think you're going to flock to people like Jeff Garza, or hopefully myself, because we know that you have to get good. So like, and I'm going to say this, probably shouldn't. So like a listing agent in 2020. I know, right? I'm not censored today.
We're going to chop it up.
No, it's okay. Yeah, edit it all out.
No way.
So in 2021, I would say, like, what are a listing agent? I was like, dude, they're cocaine distributors. Like, it's the easiest thing. Like a listing agent in 2021 was like,
absolutely.
Your what's his name? Midian, you're that guy, right?
I know who you're talking about.
Or the Mexican cartel, right?
Yeah,
the gentlemen's of Cali. Like, it's supply. Whatever supply you got, you sell.
Correct.
Then who's the buyer's agent? Well, they're coke dealers. Like, hey, I can find you that supply. I mean, it was the easiest game of all time.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, the people that flocked into the industry and grabbed a little bit of the pie. Good for them. It's awesome. Right. Sure. But they never worked on anything like how me and him have been working on for 20 plus years, which is like neuro-linguistic programming. Like, did you know there's audio, visual, kinesthetic, and now there's audio, digital ways of how we want to be talked to. We have sub-languages in English. And if you tell me certain things like, and your audio, but I'm a digital person, or I'm
it presents it to you the way you should have it.
Then these deals fall apart, and these agents that come to me like, yeah, man, my deal fell apart, and I'm like, well, tell me why. And then I'm like, dude, you're just speaking your language to this person that's not understanding you. They're not learning how to close, like, or being accountable for results.
Well, I'll help you out here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So a lot of the top 1%ers, the ones that have built their business, and are more than likely mentoring at this point
Yeah.
are having to jump back in to do business.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's not enough. But our motto is back to the basics,
For sure.
back to my process, back to giving that consumer 45 minutes instead of 10 minutes.
You wanted me to get some shout outs here, dude?
Hold on.
Yeah.
The agents that flocked,
Right.
like you were saying,
Sure.
never got a chance to even figure out what the hell the basics
Bro, they
were.
don't even know what a price change addendum looks like.
Right.
They've never done
In
it.
addition, we had so many properties on the market and selling and offers that you had to start using a form that waived appraisals,
Yeah.
but nobody knew how to use it.
Yeah.
It was like, what the
I
hell?
didn't.
You're asking
thought it
me,
was
I'm
weird.
the lender.
It was weird.
Yeah. So
It seemed
that
predatory.
being the case, they don't have a foundation. Their
Mhm.
foundation started here when ours started here, and we had to build it. We went through good years, bad years, 2018 to where everybody's like, oh shit, what's good? Oh, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
They don't have that.
Well, bro, in the last brokerage I was with, I was the only person in the top 10 that has been consistently, or me and Bob, consistently in the top 10 since 2008. And the new brokerage I'm with, besides Dane Schrader, there's only one other person that's also in the top 10 that has seen 2008. So 13 years, like you said, we've had a really good run.
Right.
So the skills, and by the way, these kids have different skills than we do. They have TikTok skills and they have video skills that I'm like, yo, like they have really.
That's a good point.
I'm not trying to say that they're not talented.
Chris,
They
on
might
the
be
last,
talented, but they're also what I've seen. Inappropriate pops to mind. I mean,
it's
what are
false.
we doing? What are we? Yeah, it's
And
false.
Chris had a great Chris
Yeah,
on here
Jacobs,
last. Jacobs.
Yeah.
He mentioned that everybody wants to be this famous part,
You don't want to do the work?
but they don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
And it's like you're using this to attract buyers, but
Right.
then when you get one, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're just building this following of falsity,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I disagree a little bit with.
And I'm not
because-
saying
'cause
that
I feel
you
like-
shouldn't use it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to evolve. You have to change, go where the
Adapt or die.
fish where the fish are in
Yeah.
order to catch fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think in the future, it's going to be the agents that have the best brands are going to be the only ones left. So
I agree.
So, I mean, Chris, dude, he's such a beast. Like he has his following, and I don't think and I agree with him. They ain't going nowhere. Like Chris's people they're going to use Chris. But I think in the future, here's some stats. Like there's a 30% attrition rate. So 5 years from now, in 2028, 82% of all the real estate transactions are going to be done by agents that don't have their license yet.
Wow.
No, that's real.
In what year?
By 2028. These are
Really?
real numbers. And I know that because
meaning more coming to the industry.
no one that has, whoever's listening right now, if you don't have a license yet, you might be one of 82% of the transactions will be done by someone we don't even know as a realtor yet.
Wow.
So buckle
So
up.
that just means that
Adapt or
it's
die.
going to stay on this path.
Yes, it
of
is.
growth.
But there has to be both. There has to be people that have skills to pay the bills along to back up the brand that they're portraying.
Sure.
Or that they actually
You
do
got to be
have.
true to your brand.
Yeah.
It can't be a facade.
You can't. You have to be able. And then, but dude, these deals are so important to these consumers. You know, they said like Newsweek had an article a long time ago. They said the three most detrimental, stressful things that happens to an American, not a Bosnian or someone that lives like in Gaza. Like, no, I'm talking about American, right? Number one is
They
losing.
don't have a phone charger.
No, that's pretty. That's
What
up.
do I do?
That's up there with my anxiety. But number one is losing an immediate family member, mom, dad, sister, brother, whatever. Number two is buying and selling real estate. And number three is losing their job. So think about the stress level for American. We're between a mortuary and you know, like monster.com.
Both losses. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. So think about the stress level. So that's why everyone's like, oh, you know, AI is gonna eat you all up. I'm like, bring it. It's such an important decision for a consumer on both sides, seller and buyer.
Sure.
That like, and you know, you have to close people 5 times. You have to close them on right now, buying or selling in general, then your services, then price, then, you know, how the property is, like inspection, and then follow through. So there's 5 closings. And so with these kids, I say kids, there's older people, but these newer agents in the last 13 plus years of the gold rush, they just haven't worked on it. And that doesn't mean they can't get better.
Right. I agree.
So I'm not saying like, hey, you guys are screwed and you're gone. Bye. See you later. It's only going to be us. Whatever.
And I think it starts with the mindset.
Yeah.
So if you think you're screwed,
sure.
if you think that this change is going to affect you 100%, then
Yes.
it already has.
And you speak to a group of 100 of them, you can pick them out.
Oh, sure.
I mean, you can.
Yeah.
If there's 20, you
If they're
can pick out
coachable.
the one.
If
Yeah,
they're coachable.
exactly. If they're
Right.
coachable, you can
Right.
pick them right out.
But Shane, go into that a little bit because I feel like, you've been doing this for so long and and by the way, he doesn't even want anything from it. Like, he doesn't say anything.
I don't think any of us do, to be honest. No one
Right.
that I've had on these discussions, these episodes,
Right.
is promoting themselves.
For sure.
It is promoting their knowledge that
Yeah.
hopefully seeps into some people that will get their shit together at the end
but
of the
I
day.
think in life he's talking about. Like
Shane will
I'll
sit
help
down with
anybody.
someone. I'm like, dude, that dude never uses you, will never use you, has said in public that he'll never use you. And Shane's like, yeah, he's a good guy though. I'm like, you're crazy though. Like,
that's
no,
true.
Shane comes from contribution, and that's what he's taught me more than anyone is like just
Make deposits.
It's the integrity of doing something when you have no benefit, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but talk about what you do with agents.
But 20 years, people have said, maybe to you, unbeknownst to me, that,
they text me all the time.
yeah.
I'll never use that.
And they come around, dude. I mean, they do come around. It's because I'm sincere. Like I'm helping you to help you. What do you want me to talk about?
Like the ongoing
the coaching piece of that.
the accountability portion of it, the way that you like he has a text. He's the most consistent human.
So is it like the core? What is it that you
I do use some of that, but it's more people. I started calling it accountability, and people are scared of that.
They hate that word.
They hate it. So
Absolutely.
I changed it to motivational.
Yeah.
And people are
Flocking.
But I never even changed my words or my slides are all the same. They love it.
Yeah.
And so this last time I literally would put their numbers up on the big screen and people would come in 0, 0, 0. And I'm like, why are you here?
Right.
You are not going to be successful. And then I call out their name and I say, look, what happens to you when you put 0, 0, 0? And they say, you call me every day.
Yeah.
And this is somebody or some people that JJ would probably be like, that dude is never going to make
Leave
it.
him alone. Yeah.
And you know what? They
Maybe.
probably won't, but they're not wasting my time because they're there in the group.
Sure.
Right.
There's out of 26 people, there's half
Right.
that are doing much, much, much better than they were before they met me.
Right.
And so, like when I said if you talk to 100 people, you're going to find 2 that are going to be successful and
Right. Coachable.
do the transactions that we're talking about in 2028.
Yeah.
I mean, those are people, but also there's 18% of the other ones that you're still going to be doing, and Helen's going to be doing, and Bobby's going to be doing.
For sure.
Yeah. So the people are cream is always going to rise, like we've always gone back to.
Right.
And so,
But your consistency, I feel like over the last 2 decades is like a testament. Like, if Shane, he has the pulse of the market all the time. He's seen every single market that I've seen for sure.
yeah.
Calm as and collected. It's when crap hits the fan, I'm like, hey, dude, we need to go to coffee or and we talk about highbrow. Another one was Jeff Hamilton that we lost in COVID.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That was one of the biggest loss to
I
me
agree.
because I was like, I can't wait for Jeff to tell me what's going to happen. And not that he was always right. It was just more.
He had a solid pulse on the
Yeah,
market.
sure.
He's a mentor from a distance for me as well.
It's a pillar of the industry, which Shane is, and he's real humble about it. But it's these pillars of the industry that they're buoys to know where we are when things get tough. And the consistency that Shane's had for the 2 decades that I've known him is just it's outrageous. Because I'll be honest with you, like Shane's not. Dude, he if I said do a TikTok or die, he'd be like, all right, suicide pill.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Well, you're gonna have plenty to put out after this episode, just so you know.
Yeah, for sure. So they say it's like fashion, right? So this guy told me like, there's fashion and there's style.
Yeah.
Right. Fashion may work with your body style and your complexion and who you are and your age group, but style never goes out.
Right.
So he says like you'll see a dude that paid $500 for a suit in the 1980s. He still looks good in it.
Yeah.
It may be an outdated suit, but he still looks good in it. And I think he's style.
Gotcha.
Fashion comes and goes, right?
Absolutely.
And I feel that's what Shane's done for a super long time. It's just been super consistent. I mean, I still get texts from him every Friday. I don't reply all every time, but I still get these text messages from, and it's motivational, it's insightful, and he's asking you like intriguing questions, and and he does it without caring if anyone responds. Because I'm like, how many people don't respond? You're like, most of them, right? Like,
Yeah.
So I think
he doesn't care.
This morning I sent 200, and probably most of them did, but it was that very heartfelt one. So,
But I think that is something that's very crucial
was.
to a successful realtor, successful any sales
Yes.
position to
Yes.
be
Yes.
loan
Any
officer.
sales.
Correct.
Any sales.
Yeah.
So now that you mentioned that, I want to parlay this into just maybe a bigger concept, because both of these cases, I don't think anybody saw coming. They weren't like, you know what, we should probably
I was following it for
prevent-
3.5 years.
Well, it
give or
started
take.
3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So
So,
where
when it
would you
came-
place yourself in the level of knowledge of everybody involved?
Right.
You're up there, dude.
But even still, that case came about 3 years ago.
Sure.
Nobody was paying attention to it.
Nobody.
But what I'm talking about is 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody saw it coming.
Yeah.
Same concept with this. When that verdict came out, nobody still saw the other side coming the next couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird.
Right.
Mhm.
So that being the case, and they were coming for something that we all, to a certain extent, believe is, hey, you shouldn't touch it if it's not broken. Is it really broken?
They definitely think so.
Right.
Mhm.
So would that not then allow these consumers, because I believe that this is a way for consumers to kind of stick it to everybody that's been making good money, all that good stuff, because it's more of a, I don't work for commission, but you do. You've been making great money. You've been making a great living. I've been seeing you in the nice houses, the nice cars, the nice clothes. Since when the hell do you have a mortgage podcast? That's not entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's stopping them from going after any commission sales in general?
The funniest
Does that
thing-
make sense?
Yeah, the funniest thing I heard out of all this is that, they should have gone after the lawyers that are doing this case as well, because they're the ones that are inflating what is being charged to,
I thought about that
right?
too, but
So,
you've got realtors.
we're just because we're and I think what it is that the douchebagness of real estate is at all time high, right?
Yeah.
And so I thought, so jokingly with my dad, I was like, yo, you guys are next then, right? I mean,
Could it?
right? Like
Technically.
like
yeah.
does Jim Adler need 20% of your decapitated, ex,
Right.
does he need 20% of that?
And that's another good question. Is it the same concept as a, let's call it, attorney that is seeking damages from someone for something that took place?
Right.
Is it not the same concept that a realtor is getting paid commission for some work that they've done?
Yeah. Because the bigger the lawsuit, the more they're going to make.
Absolutely.
Right.
And the bigger the sales price for a
Absolutely.
house, the more they're going to make.
And the more people that are involved, like a class action lawsuit, the less they'll take up front, or they don't take anything.
Right. They don't take anything.
In
They
fact,
don't need to.
they run
Right.
commercials like, were you wronged in the did you buy a house between 19,
Right.
it's
right.
like
That it for 19
And that's what's
million.
happening.
for sure.
That is what's happening
Yeah,
with
it
this.
is.
But to me, I'm like, bring it, because if that's the case, I think then you work on your craft, bro. Like you got to work on your craft. So, I joke all the time. I say like, man, they call it internal motivators. So the internal motivators that most people have, like the love of the game. Like my business partner's super weird. Like we'll have a day off on, like, I know for sure we have no buyers on a Sunday, and then I'll see showing time, and I'm like, Bob, who's showing? Someone in Cordillera Ranch is like, oh, that's me.
I'm going to see it.
I'm like, what? I would never use my super key if I didn't have to. You know what I mean? Bob loves the game, right? So there's these, so he's like, Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, they love the game. They just shot the ball because they love the ball in their hands. Curry, you heard all these people that have a love for I don't have a love for the game. Bro, I'm sure I could do well in mortgage.
Right.
He's never offered me a job, but I'm sure I can kill it in title. So so I don't have that internal motivator. I have an opportunity motivator, which is also internal, but that means that if I am shift shapy and I can go to mortgage and I can go to title and I can still, I feel like hang with the big boys.
That's an entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, well, then I've got to work on my game, right? So am I good at, neuro-linguistic programming? Do I know all about the disc? Am I, reading all the books that Shane is sending me, and vice versa? Are we being better, or are we just kind of riding the are we being intentional, or are we
Going through the
proactive,
motions.
or just being reactive
Yeah.
and saying like, hey dude, like, like, so I'm not as scared.
Right.
Plus we're insulated. I think 5 years ahead, I'm like, well, commercial, like me and my business partner had commercial EXP stuff, stocks, like we diversify because you never know. And AI is going to change everyone's game, by the way. Like I
agree with that. I don't believe it's going to replace. It will change, and those that do not adopt it will be left behind.
Yeah, adopt or die.
Yeah.
Right. So we had a radio show way before it was just us and Rogan. I was kidding. No, but we had a radio show for 8 years, and then parlay that to TV. And so I feel like the one thing that we've done well has just been like ahead of the game a little bit, because I know I'm always looking at the how can we adapt. I've never been to Realtors retirement party.
Yeah, good point.
Have y'all ever been?
Not never.
Because
Nope.
they don't invite me if they have
No,
one.
yeah, no, you're right.
So
You're right.
either they work until they die, or they find other ways.
What
of
ends up
coming out, right?
happening? The solid agents that are truly in the business to make a difference, that learn their craft, that kind of like your partner.
Yeah,
He invests in real estate.
all day.
I invest. We practice what we preach,
100%.
and we are stewardess of our craft, so to
Sure.
speak. And what that does is while you're busting your ass,
Right.
you've now done the right things with
Sure.
your money
Yeah.
and believed in what you were selling to the point that I don't have to do this piece anymore. I've
Mhm.
built it.
Right.
And I think that the agents that end up sticking around when all these things change
Yeah.
started doing that early.
And have a brand.
And sure.
Just I want to
Sure.
tell Chris.
Well, even at that
And have a
point,
brand.
they're probably promoting that brand by way of what they've done.
Yeah.
By
on accident and on
examples.
purpose, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, on accident, on purpose. Yeah, like I remember I told Bob, like I just renovated a property and we were making it one of our next Airbnbs, and I was like, I'm gonna have an open house for the renovation. He's like, why? I was like, just so that people can see the before and after, and so they can see like what an Airbnb looks like before it goes on the market. And dude, we got so much business from that.
Sure.
By accident,
Right.
I was just like, hey, check out what we're doing. And really, I just wanted a reason to call my past clients. It's really what my life is all about.
Right.
Is just how can I connect with the people that have our tribe, right? That have gotten us to where we are. And then by accident, it's created like the short-term rental brand
Right.
or whatever. But it is by accident.
But I think that many agents out there, both buy side and list side, don't know that concept
Right.
of staying connected with your clients, because that is going to be what feeds you for the life to come if you do it right the first
That
time.
is exactly what I teach all
Yeah,
day,
nice.
every day. And, I feel like we go in circles, even in this conversation, to say the people that are on top and have crafted,
Yeah.
bettered their craft are going to remain there.
Correct.
And the people that aren't, and what you call it, I forget, they came in, they were floundering because nobody showed them.
Right.
They're going to be gone unless they're smart enough to find somebody to teach them and then deemed coachable.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
and so,
the deemed coachables. Yeah.
I agree with that. Well, I have one more question,
Go for it.
and then we give any time to tell whatever stories you want and all that jazz. So this being such a big ruling, the new one that's coming out, any changes that come about, do you believe, do all of us own real estate here? You own your own home, all
For
that
sure,
jazz?
for sure.
Do you believe that it will affect our values? And comma, because I firmly believe that Texas is one of those markets that we have plenty of land. We've got great leadership. We've got great opportunity. Our cost of living is still low. So
No
we've got
city
a
income
ton,
tax.
absolutely. We still have so many people, not only that are flocking here, but are still yet to flock here. They're gonna come. I have a feeling and a belief that our values will continue to be solid. Even through 2008 debacle, it dropped a tad and then it went right back up and stayed consistent. In this whole 2022 stint, we gained a lot of ground in our values. But even since then, it still hasn't come backwards. And a lot of folks are saying, well, we've seen price drops. Well, yeah, if you go up by 30%, you've got to come back down by 5, 10. You're still above 20% in that.
Still growing at this.
Absolutely.
So you're talking about home value.
Yeah, I'm talking about home values in general, because we've got some clients out there, consumers out there, even homeowners currently out there that are listening to the bigger media that don't know shit about what we do. They just literally read off of a screen and here's the picture and this is what's happening in California. So it must be happening everywhere.
Sure.
what do you think that values are going to do if a change like this is enacted? We don't know what the change is, but there's going to be a change. We all kind of agree that there's going to be a change. We don't know when, we don't know how or what, but would that not affect values one way or another? And it could push values up. But we don't know.
I don't think it will. I don't think it'll affect it negatively. Is what JJ made a good point. You know, who's paying? Or you asked the question, and he answered it.
Right.
You know, it's coming out of the equity, really. You know, and so if it goes down, that's not going to affect the price of the home.
Right.
You know, so I don't think it's going to. And like you said, we have always done this in Texas.
Sure.
For as long as I've been in the industry, I've never seen it do that like it did in Vegas and California.
Okay.
Because that was like that was illegal what happened there, right?
Right.
We've just never done that. So I don't foresee that happening.
Well, let me add a little bit more to it, a little bit more of a framing.
Sure.
Let's say you've got a for sale by owner.
Okay.
And they know the game. They know in order to get this property sold, they've got to put some kind of nugget out there. We're going to offer 2%, 3% commission on this thing. And let's say they're playing with a $300,000 number. If a buyer without their realtor goes to them, and I was watching a podcast on this and I did not agree with them at all, but I want to see.
Okay.
If a buyer without representation goes directly to them, they already know that there's 3% for the realtor that they don't have. And they say, hey, buyer, let me buy this house from you for your full asking price minus that 3%. I want that 3% to go towards my closing cost or off of the price of the home. Number one, would the seller take that deal knowing that my net is the same dollar amount? And number two, back to the value. Would that then eventually affect the values a little bit?
I say no. And let me tell you why. When it comes to residential real estate, way more than commercial, there's only 4 reasons for people to make a commercial transaction. Is they got a business, so they need a place like you. Their business blew up, so they need a bigger place. They need to downsize because they're about to retire.
Correct.
1031 exchanges. And then it goes back to just to devalue the property against your taxes. So there's 5 reasons to move.
Depreciation,
depreciation to move in commercial. Residential is infinite. I got married. I got divorced. I got a new kid. I got another kid. My other kid went to college. My knees don't work. I need a 1-story. I'm tired of a yard. And, I need, condo. There's a million reasons.
Correct.
That's why I'm always laughing at these residential agents. Like, I can't close anything. Bro, I got 4 things. You got an infinite amount of things. Anyway, so don't let me get in that soapbox. So, but when it comes to, when I have to step into the residential game, like when my business partner's on a plane every 3 weeks, right? So I have to go back into residential once a month. It freaks me out how emotional it is. Like I got lenders yelling at me. I got buyers crying. I got sellers cussing at me. I got title people freaking out. It's like, bro, because commercial is like, it's numbers. Like, does it work or does it
make sense?
Yeah. How many people pass by this today? Is it the demographic that I need? No, I'm out. That's it. We go, hey, maybe next time. That's it.
Yeah.
That's why it's so conducive to my personality, right? But when I go back into the residential game, I'm like, no, dude, it's like so many moving parts and emotions. When you tell a seller that they don't like your house, they've raised little Jimmy. You can see, I go into listing appointments where you see little marks. This is where they came home after their honeymoon, right? And when you say like, hey, this is whack, or, the inspection report says this is whack, you're calling their kid fat.
Yeah.
Or worse, right? So
to them, yeah.
Yes.
I see that.
And then buyers, the poor buyers in 2020, 2021, and 2022 that were just getting
whacked over the head.
Manhandled, dude. And the defeating,
over and over losing.
Oh my God.
Losing. If you don't have any cash, you are losing. Yeah.
Dude. And if you want, we can go into why I know people will start moving is because dude, there's another stat, 76% of them have buyer's remorse if they bought in the last 5 years. 76% of them said, not Bobby, but all the other realtors threw them into a house, that, whatever, because it's whatever they can get. So these emotions are so high. And it's not like where you're going to work, it's going to where you're going to live, where you're going to raise your children. Investment, you get a little bit less, hey, this is going to be an Airbnb or a rental property. But it's such a big commitment with a high ticket price, and it's so emotional that's why I'm not scared. So I think
so that's the value piece.
So the values. So in that scenario with the for sale by owner, he's going to keep it. So
do you think that they would say, no, I'm not going to sell to you. I want $300,000,
and the deal will die.
Period.
The deal will die.
You think so?
Yeah, homie.
So you as a seller,
yeah,
it's for sale by owner,
right.
buyer comes to you. You've already allotted 3% for this.
Sure.
They say, I'll buy your house, but that 3% that you were going to pay the agent that I don't have, pay my closing costs.
Okay, cool. And then the seller's going to say, maybe even out loud, as is. And then the inspection's going to come, and there's going to be something like an uninsurable roof on there. And then this awesome lender is like, hey, dude, because my insurance guy is super cool, and we pulled a clue report, and like that roof is uninsurable. He's going to go be like, hey, man, you got to make it clean. I was like, no, as is. I give you the 3%.
And why do you feel that way? Because they gave them something?
Well, because it happens all the time. Like,
even if their net is still the same.
That's why.
But initially, they're going to take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I want to get out of you. But it ain't logically.
I literally last week in my own neighborhood called a for sale by owner, and he said it in those words to me.
Right.
What?
Like, it's $515.
Right.
But if you don't have an agent, I'll take the 3% off. That's exactly what he said to me.
Sure.
And I think that there are
and then he listed
it, right?
And it went under contract, and now it's back on BOM.
Oh, but you've got a ton of agents.
There's 5 closes that you need to do.
Right.
You're just talking about one, and that's his price.
That's correct.
That's his price.
I agree. But there's a ton of agents out there, including the podcast that I was listening to, that believe that sellers only focus on the sales price, not the net. And I'm going, dude, since when?
Yeah.
I've sold plenty of homes, and all I gave 2 shits about was the bottom line. How much is going to
but I think a lot of them
No, you know what? So hear me out. Again, because I've been working on my craft for 20 years. When I tell a buyer will come to me and say, hey, Mark approved me for 400, but I want 375. I'm like, cool. And then they're like, hey, we go to see a house for 375. And it's like, well, let's offer 360. And I go, why? Because what they want to do tomorrow
is get a deal.
No, tomorrow's Thanksgiving.
That too.
No, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. They want to tell their uncles and their aunts like, hey, they had it at 375, but I got on 360. So I say, is this ego or is this for you? And so I have to walk them through like, well, what if we paid 375 or even 380, but you didn't have to have any money come out of pocket, and you can use that money to spruce up that kind of shitty kitchen, and then you automatically, and I can show them numbers how, it would be worth way more from day one. Like, or do you want to, and I even tell them, or do you want to just tell your dad you got a house for 360?
Right.
See, those conversations, these plaintiffs don't understand.
Setting the expectation.
But you're talking about on the buyer side?
Or seller
side.
Setting
about
the
seller
expectation
side.
on either side.
Right.
Yeah. Or the seller too. Like my business partner talks to the seller all the time because they're also wanting to flex and say, but we sold for this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, or they'll say, my favorite thing is when we go to a listing appointment and say, like, especially right now, dude, because agents don't understand absorption rates, or they don't understand like that. It's not about, since July of last year, I stopped using comps. Okay. I said, well, John down the street sold for blank. I was like, okay. John down the street sold for blank when interest rates were 3.75. So the buyer paid this payment with a 5% conventional loan. And so this is what your house is worth per payment.
Yes. Perception from a buyer's perspective.
No, because that's the market.
You're right.
We can talk all this crap about give or take sales price or whatever. Would they not, and net. Like the market is pure. What
somebody's willing to pay
in this neighborhood?
Yep.
Like with that school district close to the HEB, like what are they willing to pay per payment wise? So then I go, now we're at 8.5%. We're probably lower with, I think, mortgage. I'm just kidding, or whatever. Then this is what so yes, Johnny down the street got this, but dude, so we do talk to sellers about the net.
So then let me perfect. That being said, do you not present a net sheet
every single
listing? Thank you. And that's what a solid agent does.
Net sheet?
Like every single time.
And how many of them are solid?
Who the hell does it?
You would not.
I know.
You wouldn't.
It's those people we've been talking about.
Exactly.
And that's what drives me insane to go, how can you say that a seller doesn't care about their bottom line?
They do, but
they want to brag about their sales price. Okay, but they really also want to know what's in their pocket.
They do. But I've seen deals get even more in the commercial world. Yeah. In the commercial world, people are like, no, it's this. And they're like, I'm like, where'd you get that number for? It's because I bought it for that, so I'm selling it for that. And dude, I even see more in that world, but it is a lot of ego. And that's the problem where I think, like where we started the podcast, where there's problems being solved, there's money to be made. There's going to be a problem here.
Yeah.
We can't just we can't sell houses on Amazon. Zillow came after us. Open Door came out to us. That model's bust. We didn't even talk about what I kind of wanted to. Like, this is going to kill all them. So who's going to need buyer leads after this?
Right.
So talk about inflating prices.
Yeah.
Right. What we're not talking about, and what the plaintiffs and everyone's not talking about, is like, what about like the cost of leads? When I started real estate, dude. Well, first of all, we were
there wasn't leads. There wasn't buying of leads.
We've always been avant-garde, sir. No,
Right.
I'm just kidding. No. We used to put like ads in the paper.
Right. Correct.
I remember when me and Bobby got the middle of the magazine, the one where you staple. We were like home, like we were like
big ad.
Dude, we were doing the studio, like, dude, we had like the craziest, like, bro, remember we were in the middle, like the middle.
Yep.
The staple,
Absolutely.
middle of the magazine. Imagine if I was still doing
full page, bam.
Boom. No, 2 double page. Right? Oof. So like, yeah.
Sideways.
But even then, dude, like the cost of leads, right, has disproportionately skyrocketed since then.
Correct.
Like, I'm a numbers dude, right? So when we're looking at, like, when we ran teams and we've had 13 agents at one point, and I've had 100 plus agents.
Zillow built an empire on
you paying
leads
for them
that only 4% closed. What happened to all the others that people paid for?
What they're paying for is now data, which is smart, but it's too late. So who's going to pay them all this and they're trying to adapt, by the way, too, now.
Right.
They're doing all these things like, oh no, we got Premier stuff and all this. So they're trying to adapt, but dude, if you talk about inflation, so like if we could probably pay way less and the prices of real estate would dramatically drop if we weren't like having to market through these IDX machines that Cuznar sold our soul.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
In 2002 or 8. Or
that's part of this change.
Dude, they would alleviate
values.
way more than our 6%. It's
Correct.
Dismal. It's dismal compared to what they've done to make it a marketable property.
Are consumers going to go after that next?
Well, they don't. They're not.
They don't know.
They're not smart enough to know. They're not. Unless this podcast goes viral, they're not smart enough to go.
We thought they weren't smart enough to know what they know now.
They're not informed enough. We should say.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So like, I feel like that's gonna be the thing.
Well, okay. So we've gone, I don't know, a little over an hour or so.
Yeah.
I've gotten exactly what I needed to out of this.
Awesome.
But is there anything else that you guys would like to close with? And then I'll tie it up with a bow. I mean, Jesus, that a lot of good information, a lot of perspectives that I think even previous guests on this same topic did not bring to the table. Mm-hmm. So both of you, thank you for getting our audience to think, to use that thing that God gave us. It's for solving problems.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, when there's a problem, there's money to be made.
Every time.
And that's absolutely correct. I agree with it 100%.
There's going to be a problem, and there are going to be different problems, and they're going to be adaptable problems. But yes, for sure.
So then each of you, what would you suggest let's talk about what would you recommend for realtors on the buy side? And we've mentioned it already, but if you could hone in, what are some things or one thing specifically that an agent should do if they love this business, want to remain in this business, and potentially continue to thrive in this business?
Raise your game. I mean, you've got to add value to the transaction. That's all there is to it. You've got to be representing your client to your fullest ability, and your ability better be up there where you're worth it. You got to make yourself worth it. Mm-hmm. And, I was invited to speak at a group to talk about the declining market. And I said, well, that'll only take me 5 seconds because, we've been through it. It's declining, but now you've got to do 3 times as much as you did to get the same result, right? Which is okay. You need to do that. If you weren't doing that anyway, you shouldn't be doing it.
Right.
I hate to say that, but it's true.
Yeah. I like that.
I mean,
JJ?
I would piggyback on that. The market is not going anywhere in Texas. On when I had my radio show, I was screaming about how office is archaic and we don't need it on the commercial side. By the way, I feel like commercial is going to drop way before residential.
I think so too.
And we can come back and talk about that. Yeah. I feel like we've been following millennial trends, and they didn't get married early. They didn't have children early. They were moving around for their jobs. And so think about what...
And it turns out that they do actually have a little bit of money saved up. It turns out that they do have good credit. They're not really on their parents' couch.
For sure. And if you look at, we've been following their trends. And so think about like La Cantera and like all these places that we kept on building, because I'm in commercial world. We just kept on being class A apartments. So all of our material, all of our glass, all of our lumber, all of our everything went to class A apartments. And then around 2018, when I was like at the end of my radio show career, they all woke up and they all said, "Hey, we want a house now."
Yeah.
All at the same time.
That's right.
And they were a little, because I got my first house when I was 24. When did you get yours, bro?
Later than that, 30, 35.
I was 22.
Yeah.
I was 22. A teacher, dude. I couldn't afford one.
Loser. You loser. No, I'm just kidding. No, so like, we had, I had Trey Young, like we had different motives, right? So, I'm X, whatever. The millennials, we followed their trend. They took all of our resources and they put it for this temporary living, and they all woke up and wanted a house. Right after that, pandemic hit.
Yep.
Inflation happened. Interest rates got, were inflated as well. And then we're realizing the backlash of that. We are San Diego and Austin is LA. We are. And it is.
And I tell that to a lot of folks when I have these discussions.
Because we're cooler.
Because they act like this is an impossibility. It's just not possible.
It's supply and demand.
Look at California. This happened many years ago.
In the early 2000s in California, after 2008, it was like boom.
Yeah.
Because it's what people need to understand. And you're right. We have infinite land. It's not like we're in Manhattan. So the supply is still low. We have 4 years. If we normalize the 5.5% interest rate, which is to 6, which is normal.
I would think so. Next 2 years.
That's normal. We still got 4 years of chaos.
Right.
Because there's still like these people are just on the sidelines, like just, you ever see that Star Wars red face dude that's just like waiting, like they're
to jump in.
Yeah, he's just waiting to jump in. They're still waiting. And the moment that we see a little bit of a boom, it's going to be 2021 again. And by the way, just to help you, anyone that says like, "Oh, Mark, it's not a good time to buy." Well, when was it? Because in 2021, they were wrapped around the block. You were pulling $30,000 to $40,000 or $50,000 your 401k to pay over the value, not the list price, the value.
You are correct.
And that money's gone.
And there were
where's that money though?
There were loans gone.
It disappeared.
Gone. There were folks during that period that were ecstatic that it only came back X amount.
Yeah,
like
only 30 grand.
What the hell are you talking about?
It was the most predatory market that I've ever seen in my life. Here's some stats. 76% of them aren't happy with it. 30-year high on the canary in the coal mine is always cars. 30-year high on repos on cars right now. What happened?
They were letting you finance up to 150, 160% of the car.
When I saw so-and-so have a so-and-so car, I'm like, bro, that dude does not deserve whatever. So like, but the repos they're not hiring salespeople, they're hiring repo people.
Yeah.
This has happened before in 08. But this is a weird recession because we're the and I know this is a wrong analogy, but we're the frog that is just getting hotter and hotter, and we're just boiling it and just watching it boil like it's a hot tub.
Yeah.
The inflation, how do you get rid of inflation? It's that what happened is that we've acquired debt to the highest level.
As a country, yes, absolutely.
And the listing agents out here know, the really good ones that are in a lot of listing appointments like Bob, because we're not about like take the money and run. We're like, what are we going to do with this? Are we gonna go buy another house with 20% down so we avoid PMI? Are we going to buy this house and another one so we have two houses to
they're not transactional. They're relationship based, and that comes from what the seller is giving.
What's your goal?
The questions that you ask.
What's your goal?
Absolutely.
NLP, right? Like, why are you doing this instead of like let's run? So which makes us better, right? So 90% of them say, I need to pay off debt. That's one.
First.
That's number one. I don't hear like,
oh, dude, we're doing a god awful amount of cash outs right now.
Yeah. So number one is pay out debt. So everyone that thinks like, oh, we're screwed. No, look, this is different than 08 because people have equity. Now it's theoretical. They're going to get it out either through you or through me.
Right.
They needed to pay off debt. Everyone is highly in debt, and the interest rates on debt are ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Yep.
And back to like the disparity. So what happens if the plaintiffs win? This is what's going to happen. Then the wealth gap is going to change, and so middle America is going to become, instead of homeowners, they're going to become renters, right? And then the middle class will become renters. That market is already going to get crazy, and then the lower class will become homeless. And that should be the one thing that we care about. Not all the other stuff and my 3% and all the crap that we talked about today. We should care about that one factor. That's
what you should be fighting for.
It's called the American dream for a reason.
Correct.
It's the only way to lift change generational change, break them. It's how to lift people out of poverty. It's how I've helped people like pay for medical bills that they couldn't otherwise from purchasing real estate. I've helped people pay for their children's colleges that they couldn't if they didn't have real estate. I've done so many good things in 19 years of real estate, and I'm so happy that I've been part of it. That is what we should be worried about, not the 3% that we may or may not have to hustle for or show value for. It's what we're going to lose. So I would say yes to Shane. Sorry, long
that's
answer.
fine.
Is we're going to be fine, and we are San Diego, and Austin is LA. So just buy.
Yeah.
This is a better time to buy than 2021. He's looking for a property. I'm looking for a property. If that doesn't tell you anything, then you should. But just elevate your game. Learn about how to close 5 times with the buyer. If you're an agent, find someone that can help you hold yourself accountable or help you coach and break mindsets. Work on your game. You have to become the best now.
Yeah.
That's why you said, what do you want to name the podcast? I was like, playtime is over. It's time to hustle.
Yeah.
It's just time to hustle.
That's true.
And I'll leave it with this. I was showing a couple of properties because Bobby was out of town. I'm going to shout out to Lisa Sin and Robert Elder. These are some big agents.
Yeah.
Lisa Sin, Robert Elder, monsters.
Yep.
So I show 5 houses on a Sunday. Okay. Robert knows when I'm in the house. Like, what's up, buddy? How'd you like the house? Not his assistant.
No, him.
Not his virtual assistant.
That's right.
Him. Okay. Mr. Rolex.
I've had him and Stephanie on the show.
Daddy Rolex. And Lisa
great.
Sin too. I love her voice. Hey, she calls me I was like, girl, did you have a camera?
Yeah.
And I was like, gangster. That's when I was like, these are the cream of the crop.
Right.
You know what? They're not like, they got, like you said, they got back in.
Mm-hmm.
Their hands are dirty.
Yep.
They're like, let's roll. They know the fundamentals.
That's right.
They know what is needed to, it was being easy. Listing agents were doing the 3 Ps, put it on the market, putting a sign in the yard and praying for, multiple offers.
Yeah.
They know that they need to step up their game. And it made me feel so good, dude, that I'm with these real, I feel like we've been attacking people, but there's so many great professionals in this industry that I'm so happy that I get to have the same, call them a colleague because they're incredible.
Yeah.
And the moment that the market changes, they change as well. They adapt quick.
And what it does, and we'll finish with this, is it raises the bar and actually makes the bar very visible as to where it should be for others in the game.
Right.
And I'll finish with this. This was a fantastic discussion, by the way. Thank you both.
Yeah, for sure, man.
We got a lot of good stuff out of this, and hopefully others out there will do the same. So make sure to like, subscribe, share it with somebody that you think that may be able to get something out of this. But the overall premise of this is, if you're going back to the basics, make sure that you do remember what your basics were. You've definitely have to sharpen your tools, become the best of what you do, and look for that shining light that in all the darkness, there's got to be somebody that's got a flashlight that's shining it up in the air saying, hey, follow me. I know the way. And if you can find that, whether it's someone like JJ, whether it's someone like Shane, hold on tight because they've been through it. They're here to calm your nerves, but at the same time, they're here to show you the path. And that's super intentional. And I believe that you can take that to the bank and cash that check. So that being the case, guys, thanks for tuning in. Both of you, again, thank you for coming on.
Anytime.
Really appreciate it. And we will catch you on the next one.